Hi, this is Trey Pass. Welcome to my review of season 3 of Stranger Things. My review with spoilers. Okay, this is my review. I did a spoiler-free review, which should be up on the channel already if you don't want to be spoiled about things. But if you don't want to be spoiled, but if you do want to be spoiled, continue to watch this video because I'm going to talk specifics with this season. I really enjoyed this season a lot. I thought this season was excellent, great continuation of this show. And I guess, and there's 8 episodes this season, and I don't think there was any filler in this show like last season when they had the one episode where Eleven got diverged to go find her family and hang out with her sister. Uh, there's none of that in this season. This season is, I think, a good tight 8 episodes. We get introduced to new characters, and we get the mystery of the Mind Flayer being back. And I truly enjoyed this a lot. Okay, first of all, let's start with the characters. Of course, Dustin's been away at science camp for like a month. Okay, he's coming back just before the 4th of July. Okay, there's a new mall in town that's been open. Okay, it's kind of drained business from the local mom and pop towns stores in town. So, they're kind of the people are really protesting the mayor for basically bringing this mall there, which is getting a lot of attention, but it's killing the local businesses in town. Okay, and we have Hopper. Okay, he's kind of worried about Mike and 11 because they're super close and and I said they're doing what teenagers do. Teenagers love to do. They're making out in her room, and he's even though he has a door supposedly 3 inches, I think it's 3 feet open. It doesn't matter. They're still kind of making out and and he can't really take it, and he really kind of goes to Joyce to try to get some advice about how to handle the situation, and she kind of tells him that that he should have a talk with both of them together and don't push it because if he pushes it, uh, it'll go the wrong way. Okay, and also we got again Lucas and Max. They're still going strong and stuff, and they're still as sarcastic as ever to each other. Okay, and we have young Will, who's kind of bummed out because his friends are not as close as they used to be. Like, there's even several he tries to get them to play the games that they usually play, but they're more concerned with their love life and stuff, which kind of really bums him out. But he really starts to freak out when he starts sensing that the Mind Flayer isn't gone. He starts to get that feeling in the back of his neck that the Mind Flayer is still around. And then we find out that the Mind Flayer is still around. And his character, I say Billy. Okay, Billy, played by Dacre Montgomery, who was really good as the jerk Billy, Max's stepbrother. He's back, and he's a lifeguard, and all the, I guess, bored housewives are hanging out by the pool and basically lusting after him. And of course, Karen Wheeler as well, who had that brief flirtation with him last season. She's still flirting with him, and they even he even invites her to go to a motel for a private lesson. Okay, which I thought was great. But what happens eventually, he doesn't make his date there, and she kind of changes her mind, doesn't go. He gets possessed by the Mind Flayer. He's the one, the host, the new host of the Mind Flayer. The Mind Flayer is using him to gather new people around in the town, and of course he wants to possess, and he also wants to get Elle. He still wants revenge against Elle, and this show, like I said, is intense. And like I said, Erica, Lucas's sister, she has more of an expanded role, and she's still as sassy as ever with that mouth on her. We get introduced to a new character named Robin, played by Maya Hawke, Ethan Hawke's and Uma Thurman's daughter. She plays a fellow co-worker who works with Steve in the ice cream place in the mall. Okay, and she really helps with the mystery because there's a great mystery which involves Russians. Okay, believe it or not, involves Russian, the Upside Down, and it's just fantastic the way the story plays out. Okay, with them, they intercept basically. What happens is Dustin, he has this brand new antenna that he wants to put up so he can communicate with his girlfriend that he met at science camp, and he accidentally receives Russians communicating on his walkie-talkie, and he goes to Steve, his buddy, and Powell to try to get him to help him decipher it and see if the Russians are trying to overtake the country or whatever. And that introduces us to Robin, the new character played by Maya Hawke, and she is absolutely fantastic. And she's amazed that Steve knows all these young kids because there was a scene earlier where when all the kids come to the mall, when Will, Lucas, Max, and Levin come to the mall, he lets them sneak in to the theater without paying through the back of the ice cream store, and she's amazed that he knows all these young kids. Okay, and she's kind of sarcastic with him and stuff, but not in a mean way. Okay, they have a nice friendly banter back and forth. Now, I'm all over the place with this review, but I want to talk about their character because they start investigating, and she helps them translate the Russian, and they start actually investigating. And we also find out that the Russians are trying to break through to the Upside Down. They're actually trying to do that. They're the ones that are behind the mall. They're the ones that funded the mall, and in the basement of the mall, they're down there trying to power up this machine so they can break through to the Upside Down. And I guess they want to control the power that's behind there, the mind frame. I don't know how they want to do that, but that's what they want to do. Okay, and they get sucked into that adventure. Dustin, Steve, and Robin, they get sucked into that adventure, and they go, and little Erica is with them as well because she's the only one that can fit through the air duct so they can get into the secret lab to find out what they're doing. Okay, so it's those four characters together, and I love their interactions together. It's great, and like I said, you see a lot of bonding between Robin and Steve, and he doesn't really see it at first. Dustin sees it before. He said, "Listen, you got this girl. You spent all this time with this amazing girl, and and how come you don't recognize that she's an amazing girl?" And she really is. And then she they have a moment where they kind of open up to each other, and she tells him how she was obsessed with him. Okay, back in first school. Of course, he doesn't remember her. Okay, but then when they have another moment where he kind of it says that that he basically admits to her that he likes her. Okay, but we find out that she's actually gay, which kind of bummed me out a little bit because I thought they were perfect together, and I would have loved to see Steve have a girlfriend that's kind of his equal because they have a lot in common and they have this nice chemistry together. But they're gonna be BFFs because even after the mystery was over and everything was over, they were still hanging out together, and it looks like they're gonna be working in a video store together. Okay, so like I said, I am kind of bummed about that Steve, because I thought this girl Robin was perfect for him, but I guess that's the way they wanted to do it. But anyway, again, like I said, the big mystery again was Billy getting possessed by the mind flayer, and he was gathering all these people together so he can become more powerful and powerful. And there's a scary moment where he basically tells Eleven that he's gonna be more powerful. He's gonna destroy her. He's gonna kill her. He's gonna kill her friends, destroy her, and basically take over. Which is he's speaking through Billy, and that's a kind of a chilling moment. And speaking of Billy, we get to learn more about his character. We get to more of his backstory and why he's the way he is. We get to see more of his backstory because there's a moment where Max is looking for him, and she enlists Eleven to help find him, and Eleven goes into his mind, and she can see his past childhood and stuff, and how his father and his mother, they broke up, and how the happiest time he's had was when he was with his mother, and how his father was basically a dick. Okay, so we get to sympathize with Billy, who's he's being taken over by the mind flayer, but we get to see that he wasn't always just an arrogant prick the way he was. He was happy once until his mom and dad split up, okay, and his mom went away, and so I guess that's why he's acting out or the way he is. So I like that we got more depth into his character again. So that was nice. And like I said, Lucas's little sister, she was hilarious. I mean, she was basically she was like nice comic relief, I thought, with Dustin and Robin and Steve hanging out with those characters. I think I like that. And like I said, the characters are are separated from, like I said, we have Joyce and Hopper investigating one part of the mystery. Then we have Steve and Nancy. Okay, and then we have not Steve and Nancy, excuse me, Jonathan and Nancy investigating one part of the mystery. Then we have Steve, Dustin, Robin, and Erica investigating another part of it, and they kind of all come together again eventually because again the mind player is coming. Okay, and he, like I said, he wants to destroy everything. And like I said, in the meantime, we got these Russians that are trying to actually break through to the upside down. They want to harness that power for whatever reason. So they're down there doing that. So not only they have to stop the mind flayer, they have to stop the Russians and permanently close, permanently close the gate because they're starting to slowly open it. And once they, they figure they close the gate, then the mind flayer, will die. Okay, and again, this show was absolutely fantastic. Like I said, there's no filler in this. Lots of good comedy in it as well as drama and that the romance and everything else. I thought was really well done. And now the two things that we had two deaths in this show. Okay, Billy died, but his death, which I kind of saw it coming. I was kind of hoping he wouldn't die, especially after we got to know his past trauma and stuff. But he did wind up dying. But he, 11 kind of reached in his mind because he was basically getting ready. He was possessed. He was offering up 11, an injured 11 to the mind flayer when she reached into his mind and told him about his happy times. And she actually happy times with his mom and stuff before all the bad times, and she actually got through to him, and he actually temporarily saved Elle from getting sucked up killed by the mind flayer, who then turned his attention onto Billy and wound up killing him. But he got to apologize to Max before he died, and I thought it was kind of sad again because we got to know him a little bit better through those memories things that when Elle went in his mind, and we can see why he was the way he was. So that was kind of sad that he died. And then a death that I didn't see coming. Hopper, he died. Now I'm gonna say what I have to say before I found out the little stinger that happened afterwards. Hopper in this, we got to see him trying to. And I liked his interactions with Joyce, Winona Ryder and stuff, and he actually kept trying to, go out with her, and she kept kind of putting him off. And then, but we got to see that she was actually still missing Sean Astin. I got Bob. She was still missing Bob's character. They even had him, show him in flashbacks and stuff. So, Joyce was still kind of grieving him, that character. So that's why she wasn't really up to really going out with Harper or anybody. She was really still grieving Bob, because especially the way he died and stuff. So I thought that was a nice touch. But Hopper, like I said, he, I didn't expect him to die and stuff. But he had the big fight towards the end of the movie with the Russian guy that he had 2 fights with prior, which he got his behind kicked. Let's be honest, he probably got his behind kicked twice. But this last fight, he winds up, when they get ready to turn the keys to turn off the machine, he throws the Russian into the machine, but he's down there right by the machine and he gives Joyce a look to, because she's up in the control booth, and he gives her a look to say, yeah, turn the keys. I know it's going to destroy me, but go ahead and do it. He gives her a look, and she reluctantly turns him, and boom, everything blows up. So he died. So we thought at that point. And then when they go to they do like an is it an after credit scene? I think it's an after credit scene where they show us in Russia, and you see this prison, and you see these guards going, and they get ready to open up one cell. The guy goes, no, not the American, that one. And they grab some Russian guy out of the cell, and they throw him into like a holding pen, and then you see another one of those creatures come out and basically kill him. So now, that kind of gives us the impression that there's an American in that cell in Russia, and of course, we think it's got to be Hopper. That has to be, and it has to be. Well, who else would that be? It has to be him. Okay, so Hopper's really not there, even though everybody thinks he died, of course. And that was sad when Joyce comes up out of the bunker, and she sees 11. She's hugging Will, and then she sees 11, and Eleven is looking at her, and she's looking at her, and then she puts it together just by Joyce's facial expression that Hopper died, and just destroys her. And then at the end we see that they're actually moving out of town. Joyce is moving with Will and Jonathan. They're moving out of town. They say their goodbyes and say they still can visit each other and stuff during Christmas and Thanksgiving and stuff. And we also, what a really good thing that we saw in this, when Dustin comes back, he tells the story of this. He wants them to help to put up this big antenna so he can talk to his girl that he met in science camp named Susie. Okay, he says she's the best, and he's bragging. And so there's little doubt. The kids are doubting that she's really for real. that it sounds kind of made up. Okay, but then we see towards the end of the movie, when they need a special code to crack the safe, we see that he communicates with her. He finally gets through to her, and she is alive, and she is a real person. Okay, and everybody's listening to it on the radio. And what makes it really funny, before she gives him this scientific code, she tells him, you got to do that thing first. And he said, no, really, I'll do it later. Not. And she said, well, I'll just turn it. And then they start singing "Never-Ending Story," which I thought was absolutely hilarious because everybody is listening to it on the walkie-talkie. See Harper and Joyce listening to it. See the scientist guy, the conspiracy guy listening to it. You see Mike and everybody else are listening to it. I thought that was absolutely hilarious, and they actually sing the "Never-Ending Story" song, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. So that was funny, and we also got to see that he did have a girlfriend. Okay, which I thought was nice that they did that. Okay, so again, this was a really good season. I really enjoyed it a lot. And like I said, the only thing that kind of bummed me out was that that they made the character Robin. They made her gay, but because I wanted her and Steve to get together because I thought Steve deserved that. Steve went through the ringer in this show. In this season, he did go through the ringer and stuff. He had to work in the ice cream place and get constantly turned down by all these girls, and then but he had this great girl Robin here that was working with him, and he finally got admitted to himself that she was really a fantastic person, and that he could really go for her, but then she explained to him that that she was gay, and so but they're still best friends because you see at the end, towards the end, him and her go to apply for a job in the video store. She helps him, he blows the interview, but she helps him get the job. So they'll still be hanging out. So I thought that was nice, a nice touch. And I thought Maya Hawke, I thought she did a real good job as Robin. She was not an annoying character. She was real helpful. She helped with the mystery. She helped with the translation, the Russian translation, and she was really a reliable person and a nice addition to the show. And I can't wait to see her again in next season, and hopefully maybe Steve will finally get a girlfriend. Okay. Anyway, let me know what you think of season 3 of Stranger Things. What do you think of it? Feel free to leave comments down below. I have links to my social media in the description box: Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I also have a link to my other channel called Views and Opinions, so you can check that out as well. And oh yeah, wait a minute. I did talk about Steve and and Karen Wheeler, Mrs. Wheeler. Like I said, he's working as a lifeguard. I think I mentioned this, but I just want to make sure I mention it again. As a lifeguard, and they were basically flirting with each other, and he even invites her to a hotel. Okay, but ultimately she doesn't go because she, as she's getting dressed and going to meet him at the hotel, she sees her husband, Mr. Wheeler, and her daughter. He has her in his lap, and they're like basically sleeping sleeping on in the chair together. So that made her say, you know what, I'm not going to blow I have a good family. It may be boring, but this is my family. Okay, and I'm not going to blow it on a fling with some young guy because my life is not exciting. So I thought that was nice that she came to that realization on her own. Okay, but by seeing her husband and her young daughter there, and she came to that realization. Okay, so I thought that was nice. Okay, and like I said, Nancy and Jonathan, like I said, they were okay. The only thing I didn't like was Jonathan was like he was just he was not afraid like Nancy. So I guess maybe that's why they complement each other, because Nancy is willing to take more chances than him, Like, he was just happy to be as an intern doing photography at the paper, and she wanted to actually, write and all that stuff. Of course, the male chauvinist pigs that worked there were just treating her like just, like a gopher, like go get the coffee, go get my lunch and dinner, and all that stuff. And when she had ideas, they would ignore her. They were calling her Nancy Drew and all this stuff, and they wound up getting fired from the paper. And he wanted, and Jonathan was, he was mad at her and saying, basically, uh, listen, you have all the advantages. I have, this job. I got to, he's basically saying, listen, I can't take those chances that you take because, you know, you have a father and a mother. I just have my mom, and I can't, you have more opportunity than me. But he really, I just, he was a little whiny, okay, and she wound up being right anyway. So he wound up having to apologize to her anyway. And I think maybe that's why they kind of she's willing to take the more chances, and he's the more. So I think they kind of balance each other out because she's willing to take those risks and stuff, and he begrudgingly goes along with it. So I think they kind of balance each other out. And I like the talk that she had with her mother, when her mother told her that follow your instincts. She's basically, she's giving her the encouragement that I think Jonathan should give to her, and maybe he will after that because he did apologize to her and said that he was wrong. He was colossally wrong. Okay, that she was right with her hunch. Okay, and so maybe from now on he won't be doubting her, and so which I thought was nice. Anyway, let me know what you think. Feel free to leave those comments down below. And this is Trey Pastor saying so long and take care.